Yo, RX back with another recap of UFC Vegas 81, Yusuff versus Barboza. We back with another Apex recap, and recap for another fine Apex card. I think this card was fine. I think we've had back-to-back pretty subpar Apex cards. I think last week's was pretty good. I think this one was fine. I think last week's was better, Green and Dawson. I think this one had more highlights. So, I don't know, I think it was a pretty decent night of fights. Apex cards can be very different, great, terrible, mid, whatever, but I think this one was very fine. So, I don't know, I enjoyed it. And yeah, not really much more to say. Some shocks, some highlights, and yeah, I'm just rambling, so I'm gonna stop. Before I get into the recap, the usual, please like, comment, subscribe. 50 subs goal by the end of the year. There's no fucking way I hit that, but I can dream. And unless I'm forgetting to say something, I know this is coming out on Monday. I fucked up, aka I got lazy Saturday night. My bad. Without further ado, let's recap this card. 11 fights in total, just as we broke down. And let's get into the first fight of the night. Fuck, I don't know what's going on with my voice. As we begin the night with a fight that was as predictable gets. Emily Ducote versus Ashley Yoder. Pretty predictable fight. Yeah, this fight could not have been more predictable if it tried to be. For 3 rounds, Ducote pretty much just beat up Yoder. I think those 29-28s are being very generous. And I think it was a very clear win for Emily Ducote. I had it like the first scorecard, a clear 30-27. She, for 15 minutes, Ducote was just able to be better, which shocker, Ashley Yoder. Yeah, not really much to say about this fight. Like, dips besides Ducote outclassed her on the feet, predictable, and she really fucked her up with some elbows and shit, cut her open bad on top of her right eye, like close to her left eye, 2 of the worst cuts we've seen in a while. Yeah, Ducote has beat the shit out of her, like from pillar to post. And to the highlight of the fight, in my very unhumble opinion, was when this happened. Yes, that really happened. That's legit. I did not Photoshop this. They showed my tweet during the card, which was awesome. And yeah, this is the highlight of the fight. So, yeah, I still don't know how or why this happened, but I'll take it. So, yeah, there you go. I'm cool. Okay, I'll shut the fuck up. Yeah, very predictable fight. Could not, like, that's all I can say. Like, there was no highlights in this fight outside of the end when you saw Yoder completely beat up, because you're like, how the fuck? Like, but yeah, Ducote was throwing elbows in close, and that's what fucked Yoder up completely. So, yeah, not very much to say. I'll talk about only Ducote first, because why would you talk about Yoder? Yeah, she won a fight she should have won, got back on track, went a giant step down, going from Lupita Godinez to Ashley Yoder is an insane step down, but she looked great. Like, Ducote is not a bad fighter. We've seen in her 2 wins, she can beat fighters she should beat. It's just in her losses. Hill I can look past, because Hill takes talent away from people. The Loopy fight was not even that one-sided. Yeah, it was pretty one-sided, but it wasn't as one-sided as some Godinez fights. As I remember. So, yeah, and it's cool to see Ducote back on track, because like I said, I do think she's a talented fighter. Just she got thrown into the fire too quickly. Was ranked after her first UFC win. Then fought Angela Hill, was a prospect killer. And then fought Lupi Godinez. So, yeah, this was her first, here's a more relaxed fight for in a while, so. And good for her, like I said. I think Ducote is a talented fighter. She's only, 28? 29? And yeah, she's good. Good to see her get back on track. To talk about Yoder, very little. What can you say? She sucks. It's time for her to get cut. She should have been cut a while ago. And yeah, she is 35 with an 8-9 record. How do you can't keep her in the UFC anymore. So she has to go. There's nothing more to say. She has to get cut. So yeah, won't even sugarcoat it. She was never a good fighter, and how did someone as bad as her stay in the UFC for years? So whatever. But yeah, besides that, the only thing left to talk about in this predictable, I won't say that word again, I swear, fight is who should they fight next. For Emily Ducote, I like the idea of her versus Jacqueline Amorim. I think that'd be a pretty good fight. Jacqueline coming off a win. Yeah, not against a great opponent, but a win. And let's see Emily test her. You give Emily a lot of fights, just on this page alone. You could do Bruna Brazil, fucking Vanessa Demopoulos, Yasmin Hawagui, Corey McKenna, and Michelle Watterson, Luma Lubumi. You got a lot of options, but I think the best one is Jacqueline. Jacqueline, young prospect, give her a test, see what happens. Either Ducote gets another nice win, or Morim gets a pretty good win. So, yeah, I say do that fight. I think it'd be a good fight. Would really answer a lot of questions about both, but mainly Jacqueline. So, do it. And like I said, Yoder gets cut. Do I even need to say anything else? 8-9 record. That's bad. That's so bad. But, yeah, not much more to say about this fight. Good performance by Ducote, got back on track as she should have. And who do I think she should fight next? I would like to see her against Jacqueline Amorim. I think it'd be a pretty good fight. And why not? So, yeah. Good fight to open the night. Good win for Emily Ducote. And by the way, it's not Ducote. I've heard people say that. It's Ducote. Because that's how I say it. After that, we had to the second fight of the night in the bantamweight division, which was pretty decent. And we have Chris Gutierrez versus Alatengheili. Yeah, pretty, I'm gonna say the word again, but it was as predictable as the Ducote fight. Gutierrez is just levels above Alatengheili. For 15 minutes, Chris was able to just pick Alateng apart, especially with leg kicks. By the end of the second round, Alatengheili's lead leg was completely fucked. It was bruised. It was fucking changing colors. It looked painful as fuck. And yeah, he just had nothing for Chris. He couldn't stop the leg kicks, which just led into him not being able to fucking walk. So, and yeah, it's not really something you're shocked by if you've watched Chris Gutierrez fights. Dude's a great fucking kicker and bull. That Factory X gym is just really good at that shit, so you're not shocked. And he destroyed the legs to decision, so yeah. I guess I'll talk about Chris first. And yeah, I think I showed the scorecards already. A clear 30-27 Korea. Yeah, not very much to say for Chris. He got back on track for a nice win against a step down, and he looked great. Do I think he would have beat Montel Jackson just as easily? Yeah, pretty much. I think Montel would have gave him a little more problem with wrestling, but I think he would just destroy Montel's legs the same way. Wow, people, that's interesting. I think you'd been able to just pick them apart close to the same way. Like, it might have been a little closer, but I think Montel would have had a lot of leg pain, just like Alatengheili. So, yeah. Gutierrez is a good fighter. He just had a really off night against Pedro. Like, I think the Gutierrez we saw fight Alatengheili fought Munoz, he wins. Like, and if they fight 9 more times, instead of saying 10 times, like, Munoz wins, or Gutierrez wins 9 out of 10 times. And that 10 was a fucking fluky ass shit anyway, so, yeah, not very much to say. Gutierrez, great fighter, and gets back on track in a big way. To talk about Alatengheili real quick, not very much to say for him either. I feel bad for him a little bit, because he went from fighting Ronnie Yaya, which was a very winnable fight for him, to fighting Chris Gutierrez on short notice. So, yeah, I kind of feel bad. He's not a bad fighter. Alatengheili's a pretty decent fighter. Like, his striking's good. He just bad kick defense. And excuse me. I definitely think, like I said, I feel bad for him, but I definitely think this is a teachable fight for him. He's only 31, he can come back better. He's gonna be off for a minute because his leg got fucking torn to pieces. But yeah, I think he'll be back. He's a good fighter. And I'll talk about who I think he should fight. So, yeah, I think he'll win his next fight if they give him a reasonable opponent like Ronnie Yaya. He's a good fighter. He just ran into a ranked dude who's levels above him. Can't really get mad at that, can you? But, yeah, not very much more to say besides who should they fight next. For Chris Gutierrez, I would like to see him against Kyler Phillips. I think that'd be a really good fight. Chris, yeah, he's ranked 15th, and you're like, why would he fight out the rankings again? He fought an unranked dude who was not even close to the rankings. And if you really look up above him, who could he fight? Yanez is going to be out for a minute. Teammate, booked. You're not going to feed him to Umar. That'd be stupid. Pedro, you just fought. Cruz, I don't know what he's doing, and everyone else makes no sense. So, the closest guy to the rankings that's unranked, but would be pretty much a ranked win for him, is Kyler Phillips. So, and I think it'd be a fantastic fight. Oh my god. Like, that fight is just fucking amazing. Like, Kyler really not lost to fighting UFC. This was a terrible decision, and Chris only lost in a fucking off night. Yeah, I think it'd be a fantastic fight. I would, that deserves to be on a fucking main card of a pay-per-view or just a fucking fight night. That's just a great fight, so I think they should do that. And then for Alatengheili, yeah, rest up, come back, and see what happens. We have some fights for him. Let's see. Maybe not on this page. I feel bad for Alatengheili, but he'll be back. How about... fuck it. Christian Quinones. Christian lost earlier this year, so yeah, I both coming off L's. Why not do that fight? I don't see a problem with it, so do that fight. Not very much to say. Step down for how Alatengheili that he deserves, and yeah, not very much more to say. Good fight, good performance by Chris Gutierrez. Dude looked like a ranked fighter. He looked like a ranked fighter fighting an unranked dude, so that's really good to see. And who should they fight next? I like Chris Gutierrez versus Kyler Phillips, and Alatengheili versus Christian Quinones, right? Was his first name Christian? Short-term memory. aka I'm really fucking stupid. Yeah, Christian Quinones. Kyler and Gutierrez is a fantastic fight, and Alatengheili Quinones could be a pretty good fight, and both need a win. So yeah, I like both fights. They would both be pretty good fights. Let's do them. Not very much more to say. Great performance by Chris Gutierrez. After that, we head to the third fight of the night in the women's bantamweight division, and this fight was pretty good, actually. Definitely one of the best fights of the night, because this was just a fucking fight. As we have Melissa Dixon versus Irina Alekseeva. What a fight. Round 1, it was kinda close, but Melissa was winning until Irina hit her with the most perfect right hand you'll ever see. How she got up from that, I don't know, but she did. She survived, but round 1 definitely went to Irina Alekseeva. But then round 2 and 3, Dixon was able to just keep her down on the ground, or just beat her on the feet anyway. By round 2, Irina was pretty gassed. And he was kind of defeated. She couldn't get Melissa off of her when she was on top. She couldn't get submissions. Her striking was weaker than it was. She just couldn't do anything, and Melissa was able to just win the fight like that. So I had 29-28. I think that's the right scorecard, but whatever. Either way, they did get it right, and Melissa Dixon got her debut win. The person I actually want to talk about first here is Irina Alekseeva, because it was a very interesting fight, and it really showed. I think I even said in my breakdown this going to answer questions about both, and this answered some questions about Irina. I think Irina's a talented fighter. Like, I'm not worried about the 33 years old. She's only had this was her 7th fight. Her next fight will be her 8th. I'm not worried about that. I think she is a talented fighter. Her striking is not amazing, but it could be worse. Like, she has power. I definitely think she has power. She needs a little bit better of a stance, but that's not her big problem. Her big problem looks to be her gas tank's bad. Like, she looked pretty gassed by the end of round 1, which is a bad sign. Yes, they were going at a pretty high pace, but still, that's not a good thing if your gas tank's pretty weak that early into a fight. So, and by the way, her ground IQ, it's really bad. There's multiple times she could have got up, or could have probably went for a submission, but she just fell right back into the body triangle, or the fucking being on bottom. So, I don't think Irina's a bad fighter, just, this is you'll hear this a lot on this card, because English. You'll hear this a lot on this card, because there was a lot of young fighters on this card. Irina, I talked about it for Alatengheili, a couple others. This is a teachable moment for her, and I think if she rewatches this fight and fixes the problem, she could be good. I do, she seems like she is a talented fighter, I think, and if you take some time off, let's see, it's fucking October, come back, let's say, maybe April, May, June, and go from there. So, yeah, I think if she fixes the few holes in her game, which I think is her gas tank, I think that's her biggest flaw, she could be good, I feel. So, just keep your chin up and come back. But from Melissa Dixon, I'm not gonna not put the spotlight on her, because she definitely deserves the spotlight. She looked fantastic. She showed heart eating that giant fucking shot that would have put a lot of people out. Very few 135ers, and female of course, would have been able to eat that shot and get up like she did. So, a lot of respect for Melissa, and in this fight she showed everything you want to see in a debut. Heart, striking, wrestling. She looked good. She looked pretty fucking good. She had that 6-0 record very legit, because she's just a good fighter. She's definitely a prospect to keep an eye on. Of course, any British fighter that gets in the UFC gets hyped because they're British and they want that star. But Dixon is definitely someone to keep an eye on, because again, she is pretty fucking good. And, she's a hole or two in her game, but they're not nearly as big of flaws as Irina's problems. So, if Melissa fixes the one or two like bad things I saw, like she getting clipped, she did get clipped a couple times, but besides that she looked great, and I can't like eat one of the most all-around debuts I can remember in a while. So just really good shit from Melissa Dixon, like a really nice add to the roster. So yeah, very, very impressed with Melissa after this debut. Didn't know anything about her before it. I'm definitely gonna keep my eye on her after it. So really good performance by Melissa Dixon. And now to talk about who they should fight next, because that's the only thing left to talk about. For Melissa Dixon, I would like to see her fight Tamir's Vidal. Vidal's coming off a pretty underwhelming performance against Rendon, and I think that'd be a good step up for Melissa. Melissa fights someone who's had a couple fights in the UFC, someone who is a striker. So like Irina's kind of like a bounce fighter. Vidal's a striker, so I think that'd be a good fight for Melissa. I think step up, fight someone who's a little more experienced, not by much, and I think another great performance there could easily get her ranked. Because like if you look at the fucking the women's 135 rankings, like not one fight at 135 and she lost. Not even good. Hasn't fought in years. Shitty. So, and actually, Melissa definitely didn't keep, like, I think I did this not long ago, but there's women's 135 feels like they're getting their women's flyweight, injection of talent. Just in the last couple months, we had Nora, we had Lisboa, Irina, Rendon, Dixon, Jamie Lynn Horse is good. Look, this chick could be good. So, a lot of talent getting injected into that division, and that's good. It needs it, so. But that I'm rambling. I would like to see Dixon and Vidal. And then for Irina, back to the drawing board. I say let her beat up Haley Cowan. Why not? I think that makes sense. Haley Cowan, shitty fighter. Irina could easily beat her. Get back on track. I don't know who else she could fight. Maybe the loser of Perez and Lucy Pudilova? Or Jocelyn Edwards? But I don't even like that fight. I would have Irina fight Haley Cowan. I think that makes the most sense. And why not? Cowan's a garbage fighter. That Irina could easily be. I really hope she never fights Irene Aldana, because that would be a fucking pain to say. But yeah, I would do that fight. I think that's a good fight to do. But yeah, not much more to say. Definitely a fight I would say go watch. Yeah, I didn't mention, like, I think I did mention, but I'll say again, this was a dog fight. These two fought in the first round. Second and third, it was a little more relaxed, but still was a pretty good fight. So definitely a fight I would say I'd recommend to go watch. And when I do that at the end of the video, I'll say this again. But yeah, this was a good fight. It showed two prospects going at it. Showed how good they are. So yeah. And who should they fight next? I like Melissa Dixon versus Tamir's Vidal. And I like Irina Alekseeva versus Haley Cowan. Dixon and Vidal would be a good fight. Dixon probably wins that one. And Irina can get back on track with an easy one against Haley Cowan. So, yeah, not really much more to say. Great debut for Melissa Dixon. Definitely a name to keep an eye on. After that, not going to waste your time for this. It was as predictable as we all knew it would be. Terrance McKinney versus Brandon Marat. Yep, McKinney ran through him. All I'm going to say is McKinney should fight Chris Duncan, rebook that fight, because I think that'd be a really good fight to do. That the fight was meant to happen on this card, but, you know, should have happened. I rebook it. McKinney took no damage, so you can do that fight 296 or 297 in January. So, yeah, rebook this fight, and then for Brandon Marat, he cut him or feed him to another dude. He's a fucking garbage can. So yeah, not much to say. Great performance by Terrance McKinney. flawless victory. Fatality. After that, we head back to Women's 135 for another prospect versus prospect fight, as we have Tainara Lisboa versus Ravena Oliveira. Not nearly as good as Irina and Dixon. Very much a step down. Like, round 1 was semi-close, but Lisboa did take it. Round 2 was all Lisboa, and in round 3, Oliveira was able to take it while Lisboa was more tired. But overall, a clear win for Lisboa. She got to second and first. First was, like I said, it was kind of close. But Lisboa did take it, in my opinion, and everyone agrees. So, yeah, pretty boring fight. Like, the best part of the fight was when they were striking in a surge, from what I remember. Like, this fight was definitely one of the worst fights on the card, so, yeah, very bad fight overall, and, yeah, very little good to say about it. So, yeah, not much good to say, very forgettable. Talk about Lisboa first, very bad performance, like, in a step down in competition, most likely, like, actually, yeah, I think Jessica Rose Clark put up more of a fight. In a step down in competition, she looked pretty underwhelming. I don't know if that was because she got a little cocky after her debut or what, but she had, like, I know this was a short notice replacement, but come on, McKinney showed that's not a big deal. Yeah, very odd performance by Lisboa. Her wrestling, her grappling is good, her striking is interesting, and her gas tank, she has 2 rounds, which is good, but not having that 3rd round could really fuck you up in a fight, and could really, like, let's say that first round was a little closer, and like, let's say a judge or two gave to Oliveira, you couldn't be mad at the judges more than Lisboa for being tired late in the fight. So yeah, I think Lisboa is an interesting one. I want to see now, like, all I want to see is how she does in her next fight, because she's given 2 different signs. She looked fantastic in her debut, and then looked very underwhelming in her next fight, which was a step down. So, very, very weird. Did I skip over? She fought Valentina? I don't even remember seeing that. Yeah, I don't know. Lisboa, I think, does have talent, but she just looked very underwhelming here. I'm very interested to see how she does in her next fight. So I'll give the benefit of the doubt. This is just a really underwhelming performance. So, but she really needs to show up for her next fight, because if not, then we have a problem. But right now, you had a great performance and you had a bad performance. Let's see which side of the scale gets the 3rd performance. So, hopefully the good side. Yeah, not very much more to say about Lisboa. And then for Ravena, really nothing to say. Yeah, she won round 3. Yeah, she kinda held her own on the ground at points, but she really did nothing to impress. And she's not very good, I don't think. Yeah, I think she'll be maybe 1 or 2 more fights in UFC and she's out of here. I don't think she's very good. So yeah, she did not impress me in the slightest. She didn't even, like, kinda interest me. She just, like, she showed up and lost. I don't know. I was far from impressed in this fight by either. And yeah, pretty bad fight. The only thing left to say is, who should they fight next? For Lisboa, I guess I would rebook the fight with this chick, Daya. Fuck saying that, Jesus Christ. Zelzenyakova? I might have actually said that right. Zelzenyakova. That will never be easy. But yeah, rebook this fight. It was literally the fight I was meant to happen on this card. But she pulled out, so. But yeah, rebook this fight for whatever card. I don't fucking know. And yeah, I think that'd be an interesting one. And then for Ravena, where is she? I think she's right. She's down here. I don't know what you do. It's a very short division, so like I can't remember anyone who came off Contender Series this year. I can't think of, like, maybe you bring someone new in to fight her, which, yeah, I'm fine with that. Or you just cut her. I'm okay with any option. I don't know who you could actually have her fight. Cause, like, Ashley Evans Smith is cut. Yanwa Nu is cut. Betch Correa retired. Fucking Stephanie Egger? I guess she could fight Stephanie Egger. I'm not against that. But, I don't know. I would rather just see them bring someone in and have them fight her, so that's what I would do. But, yeah, not much to say about this fight. Pretty bad fight. And who should they fight next? I like Lisboa to get rebooked with long name that I'm not gonna try and say. And for Ravena, either, I guess, fight Stephanie Egger or fight a debuting fighter. Not very much to say. Pretty disappointing performance by Lisboa. And to end the prelims, we end it with a legend doing what he does best. As we have Darren, the Damage Elkins versus T.J. Brown. Darren Elkins being Darren Elkins. And actually it was a fun fight, but it was more of a wrestling match from what I remember. For 2 rounds, Elkins was able to wrestle. It's a pretty competitive fight, but still was good. Brown had his moments, but I think Elkins was up 2-0. And then round 3, Elkins tired TJ out because TJ had a bad gas tank. And then he locked in the rear naked choke and got the win. Darren Elkins, man. Being Darren Elkins. Not really much to say about this fight. Just talk about Darren Elkins first. He got a nice win. He still does got it. He just cannot hang with dudes who are competent fighters. Like, his last 4 wins are all against garbage fighters. So, like, if you look at his last 2 losses, Cub Swanson, who's still a very fine fighter, and JSP, who he should have never even been in there with. Like, what can he really fucking do? You can't really blame him for those fucking losses. And so, yeah, you just really can't get mad at him for that shit. Like, he can still kinda go, but he definitely should retire. I would have loved if he retired here, but at the same time, I would like to see him retire in a arena. He deserves that. Maybe, put him on UFC 300. Like, that canvas is gonna be bloody. But yeah, he still does got it. Like, his gas tank is still very solid. Like, he can still wrestle, of course. Like, that's no fucking shocker. And he still, like that, he can still beat these pretty bad fighters like TJ Brown and Derek Minner. But he can't hang with young guys anymore. Or even, like, decent fighters. And to talk about T.J. Brown, not much to say. He's not a good fighter. I never thought he was, and I still don't think he is. He really is 2-6 in the UFC, and yeah, it might be his last fight in the UFC. He's not good. His gas tank's always been bad. His striking ain't much to write home about, and he's just not a good fighter. So, very little to say about this fight. But the only thing left to say is who should they fight next? For Darren Elkins, I would love to see him fight Andre Fili. That fight would be fucking amazing. Or Juicy J works also. Either one of those 2 fights. Erosa or Fili. Fuck, that would be a banger with Darren Elkins. Like, who would not want to see that fight? I know, I want to see that fight. Jesus Christ. Like, can we please do either? Please? So, either one of those fights, fucking fight of the nights, book them. And then for TJ Brown, like I said, I'd probably cut him. Like, he's not good. You could give him one more fight if you want him to lose to some young dude, like, get him a nice win. But besides that, just cut TJ Brown. He's very bad. So, yeah, not really anything else to say. Besides Darren Elkins, is Darren Elkins still a psychopath motherfucker who puts on highlights every time he fights? A true fucking legend. And who should they fight next? I like Darren Elkins versus Andre Fili, and Teacher Brown should get cut. Elkins and Fili just screams banger. So book it. Darren Elkins, true legend. Keep going. Keep doing your thing, damage. Well, those were prelims. Pretty good prelims. Like, outside the Lisboa fight, and I guess Ducote was not the most exciting fight in the world. Gutierrez, Dixon, McKinney, and Elkins were all good fights, so yeah, very solid shit. But then we hit the main card, which was very up and down, mainly up, but a couple downs. And yeah, let's talk about it. So let's get into the main card, which begins with a fight I'm not going to talk about. Saaiman had an off night. C-Rod sucks. Fat fuck. Make weight dummy. And yeah, Saaiman wins this fight 9 out of 10 times. Plus it's a bad decision anyway. Fuck C-Rod, make weight. After that, we had to the second fight of the main card, which was a terrible pick by me, and I'm sorry, Michel Pereira, for disrespecting you. As we have Michel Pereira versus Andre Petroski. Yes, I am a dumbass. Sorry for disrespecting you, Michel. You are way better than this fraud. I'll talk about Petroski first. Well, no, I'll talk about the fight first. He knocked him out in 1 minute 6 seconds pretty easily. Now to talk about Petroski first. This dude's a fraud. He fucking blows. Like, I thought he could have I thought maybe his chin would hold up if he didn't get punched. Maybe he'd actually shoot a takedown. He fucking blows. Stick to beating cans like GM3, Terman, and Maximov. Dummy. But to talk about Michel Pereira, who is the guy who we should be talking about, this dude's gonna be good at middleweight. He's only 30, I believe. 30, yeah. And he looks great. He looks fucking great. He looks really good at middleweight. His frame looks good. He doesn't look too bulky. He looks like he bulked up just right. And I think he's really gonna cause problems in that division. I don't think he's gonna win a bout. I think he's gonna be like too high in the rankings. But I could definitely see him, just knowing how shit middleweight is, I could easily see him being like a 15 to maybe like 7, 8 dude. And if you really look at the rankings, who do you really think he beats? Fluffy, no. Muniz, yes. Curtis, yes. Paul Craig, yes. Imavov, no. Gastelum's a welterweight. Brennan Allen, no. Jack Hermanson, yes. Doladze, maybe. Paulo, yeah. No, maybe. So, yeah, he beats a good chunk. Like, so, yeah, he could be a ranked dude. Like, he was ranked at 170 for a reason. He's a good fighter. But he was just a weight bully. But now he's in his real weight class. I think he can really do some good shit. So, yeah, I'm very excited to see Michel Pereira at middleweight. I think could really have some fun fights and can really make a name for himself in that division. So, yeah. I'm just wondering if they're gonna push him into the rankings really quickly. I say give him one more unranked, like, kind of gimme fight, see how he does, and then a ranking. I'll talk about who I think he should fight in a second. But yeah, dude looks great. And I am sorry for disrespecting you. You would never lose to a can like Andre Petroski. So, my bad. But yeah. Besides that, let's talk about who they should fight next. For Michel Pereira, I know this is gonna sound weird, but after I thought of it, after I saw it and thought of it more, I liked it. I would like to see Michel Pereira fight Edmund Shabazian. It's a decent name, but I think Pereira could easily beat him. He would easily beat him, and I think it'd be an interesting fight. So give Pierre one more nice knockout before you get him. Like, after he beats Edmund, then I would say put him in there with a closer ranked dude, like a Joe Pyfer or a Chris Curtis or someone along those lines. So, yeah, I like that fight. Pierre and Edmund, why not? And then for Andre Petroski, I don't care. Give him fucking, I don't know, let Bo Nickel rip him in half, or who cares? Dude fucking sucks. So, yeah. Not much to say. Besides, great performance by Michel Pereira. Dude is really good at middleweight. I think he will be really good at middleweight after seeing him at middleweight. And who should they fight next? I would like to see Michel Pereira versus Edmund Shabazin. I think that'd be a very interesting fight. So, let's book it. Get Pierre one more highlight reel knockout. But, yeah, great performance by Pereira, man. Dude's gonna be good at middleweight. After that, we head to the, on paper, best fight of the night, and in execution of a pretty good fight. As we have Jonathan Martinez versus Adrian Yanez. I'm not saying Yanez, because that's fucking stupid. Sorry, Adrian. Either have your name be spelled Y-A-N-Y-E-Z. Just saying. If you do that, I'll say Yanez. But yeah. What a interesting fight. In round 1, Martinez was able to establish the leg kicks early and really fuck up Yanez. After he got that leg pretty beat up, he was able to just pick him apart. Round 2, he did the same thing until Yanez literally could not walk anymore, and he just laid down and the ref stopped one, and he got kicked down and the ref stopped it, which was understandable. Very interesting fight, and it answered some questions about what actually did, and it just showed how good Jonathan Martinez is. So I want to talk about Martinez first. I am so happy for him. Like, dude, I've seen, like, I know now it sounds, oh, of course you have, but I think this dude's had talent for a long time. He just couldn't put it together completely. Like, he was still developing here, he got clipped here, but then, ever since the David Grant fight, he's just been on it in his bag. And by the way, I'm not fucking just saying I thought he was good for a while. I've picked him in all 6 of his winning streak fights, and I picked him against David Grant. I've only picked against him once, and that was the Yule fight. That was fucking 4 years ago. Yeah, but I picked him in every fucking fight because I've seen the talent of this dude. He's really showing it off now. Like, dude, he was an underdog going into a fight with a 13-0 fucking can crusher who never beat anyone good. And I picked him when he looked fantastic. He beats Alejandro Perez, he beats Vince Morales with 2 cans, quick wins. Then he runs through Cub Swanson. Another nice win. Then he beats Said Nurmagomedov as a huge dog, and I predicted that too, because I know how good he is. Then he runs through Adrian Yanez. This dude is really, really good. Like, I'm so happy. Like, he's been one of the most underrated fighters in the UFC for a while, and now he's not, because people are finally recognizing how good he is. Like, this dude is a problem, and he's only like 29, right? Yeah, this dude's a problem for that division. The only concern I have about him is his chin. And Yanez hit him a couple times and he looked fine, so. And the, like, outside of O'Malley, who's like a hard hitter in the higher echelon, like Song Yudong, Corey's a wrestler bitch now, so pretty much just Song Yudong. So, yeah, I really think Martinez can go, maybe not top 5, but he could easily be a 7 or 6, I feel. Maybe even top 5. He could sneak in there if fucking Marabin can get up there. Anyone can. So, yeah, Martinez is a beast, man. I'm so happy that he is getting the respect he has earned. And, like I said, man, I've seen it for a minute, but he's finally executing it. So, yeah. And he's the second fighter ever to get 2 leg kick finishes. Now, obviously, number 1 is Edson Barboza. So, that's cool. To talk about Adrian Yanez, I don't think this is, like, I know, I've not seen it, but I guarantee you some people are saying, like, he was never that good, he sucks. I don't think he's a bad fighter. I think he needs to develop a lot more. I think this was a very teachable moment for him. I've done that word again. If he, I wouldn't be shocked if that Munoz or not, that Rob Font fight really fucked him up a little bit upstairs. So, but if he can, like, cause he's gonna be out for a minute now. His leg got fucked up. But if he comes back a strong mind, ready to get back to what he was doing best in, let's say, a year, he's a problem. Dude's a good striker. His ground game, we've not really seen, I don't remember. And his leg checking ability ain't great. But dude, he's a good fighter. Until he proves to me otherwise, he's a good fighter. And he's only lost to, he had an off night against Rob Font. He would have won that, he wins that fight if they fight again. And he lost to Johnson Martinez, who's great. So, what can he really do? He's a good fighter. He just needs to develop a little more. And he's only 29, he'll be back. I'm not giving up on Yanez. I think he's a great fighter. I hate to see him lose, but this will make him better. Just like the Grant fight made Martinez better, this will make Yanez better. So, that's what I think. Keep your chin up, Adrian. You'll be back. You'll be back. But besides that, to talk about who they should fight next, unless we're going to say something, but I think I praised Martinez enough. Who would I like to see him fight next? I would like to see him fight Pedro Munoz. If the fight makes the most sense, and Munoz beat his teammate, Chris Gutierrez. They are teammates, that's why they fight a lot, like heavy on the leg kicks, etc. So yeah, I would like to see Martinez avenge his teammate. He beats Pedro easily, so yeah, book that fight. Would it be number 13, maybe 12 against number 10? I like it, book it. And then for Adrian Yanez, it's kind of hard to say because again, he's probably going to be out for a while. And when he comes, I don't know if he's even going to still be ranked. I would take him out the rankings for right now. I would move him out, put Kyler Phillips at 15, Gutierrez at 14, or even Mario Bautista deserves it. Either or. But I kind of hard to say who Yanez could fight since he's going to be out for so long. But you got options. But most likely he'll be out till like summer next year, I'm guessing, because again, like, his leg got fucked up, and he probably wants to rest anyway. He's had 2 brutal fights in the span of that's Martinez. Yanez had 2 brutal fights in the span of a year, in the span of fucking 6 months, so I would just say take time off, come back next year, come back better. So, yeah. But, yeah, not much more to say besides I'm happy for Johnson Martinez. Dude's a fucking beast. And who would I like to see him fight next? I would like to see Martinez versus Pedro Munoz. And I would like to see Yanez take a break. Take a break till next year. So, yeah. Martinez and Munoz makes sense for the storyline. And Martinez gets an easy ranked win. So. Yeah, not very much more to say. Johnson Martinez is legit, and I'm so happy for him. Dude's a beast. I can't say that enough. So, yeah. After that, I will talk about this fight, because the right person won. Fuck Jennifer Meyer. Not gonna say much. Thank you, Viviane Araujo, for beating that dumb bitch. You are a goat for that. I would like to see you fight Lauren Murphy. You beat her. And yeah, thank you, Viviane Araujo. You are a goat for beating this bitch. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was amazing. It wasn't a robbery. Go fuck yourself if you think it was. That was a clear win for Vivi. 30-27 was my scorecard. I don't care what anyone else had it. Vivi Araujo. Nothing else to say. And now for the main event of the evening. A banger between Edson Barboza versus Sodiq Yusuff. Very interesting fight. Great fight. In round 1, Yusuff clipped Edson bad early, had him on the ropes, and almost finished him. Clear 10-8 round. But then Edson came back in the second, and the third, and the fourth, and in the fifth, and was able to win. And late in the third, he hit Yusuff with a brutal spinning wheel kick that almost finished him, but Edson weirdly didn't finish him. He went to like try and submit him, which has never been Edson's thing, but whatever. And yeah. very interesting fight to look at, especially a week after Dawson and Bobby Green. Like, this was not a fraud check. Let me say that right now. This was not a fraud check. This was a fight that will make Sodiq Yusuff better. I'll talk about that in a second. But you can't. He didn't even look bad. He literally did not even look bad. And I'll say this: if he was fighting another young dude like himself in their first main event, blah blah blah, he would have finished him in round 1. The worst thing that happened to Sodiq, he was fighting a veteran who's been through the fire hundreds of times and knew how to react. Sodiq did not know how to react, because this is the first time Sodiq has hurt someone that badly and not been able to finish him. Let's be honest, everyone he hurts like that, he finishes. Like, he never hurt Alex like that, but if he would have hurt him like that, he either would have finished him or he would have got up. He's a tough dude. He couldn't hurt Arnold Allen like that from what I remember. So, but I'll tell you right now, if he hurt Arnold Allen like that, he would have finished him, because Allen's a young dude who was not experienced at the time. So it's all like, when I was literally watching the fight live, I was thinking, Edson can really come back from this because he is a veteran. And he did. He fucking did. And that's insane. But it's weird. It's crazy how MMA works like that. It's why MMA is the best. Anything can fucking happen. So, and what a fucking... And they had a great fight. It's not like Sodiq was out of it after round 1. He just got beat the rest of the fight, so... For round 2 through 5, he just got beat. But he still put up a good fight, so... Yeah. All respect to Sodiq. And I'll talk about Sodiq first. Like I said, this fight should make him better. Go back to the drawing board. You got the experience now. This fight should make him better. This should be his Stipe Francis 1. His Hamza and Burns. His, O'Malley and Yoder. Like, fights that make you better. Especially for a young guy. This fight will make him better. Probably Arnold Allen and Max Holloway. That fight will make Allen better. I can keep going. But this fight should make Sodiq better. He'll learn a lesson. He now, if he is in another main event or in a big fight where he hurts a guy like that, he'll know how to calm down. To wait for the kill, not kill your gas tank in the round 1 trying to get it. He'll be better after this. Unlike Grant Dawson. Dawson did nothing in that fight and got smashed against Bobby. Yusuff put up a fight even after round 1. We literally have seen a difference between a fraud check and a real, just comparing this to Petroski. Petroski got fraud checked. Yusuff got taught a lesson. And I think that's the big takeaway from this fight, and it's a good takeaway. You want to see these fighters get better, and Yusuff, I think, will be better from this. So, and that's great. The dude's good, and yeah, by the way, Yusuff's a really good fighter. He just ran into a legend. Nothing more to say. He ran into a fucking legend. And to speak of that legend, holy fuck, Edson Barboza. This man is a fucking psychopath. The shit this dude's done. Wow, 37 years old, gets hurt by a powerful prospect, comes back and just beats him up. Like, wow. What fucking legend shit. And by the way, to prove my point, look at the names this dude has fought, and you will see why he was able to come back. Just go down the list. Ross Pearson, Donald Cerrone, Bobby Green, Michael Johnson, Paul Felder, Tony Ferguson, Anthony Pettis, Gilbert Melendez, Khabib, Kevin Lee, Dan Hooker, Gaethje, Felder again, Ige, Giga, Mitchell, Burgos, Billy Q. Dude has fought so many people, and he's been through the fire. Like, this fight, I watched this fight not long ago. He went through hell with Tony. So, that has all of that built him up to be able to prepare and be ready for this fight, and the reason he was able to come back and win. So, it's very interesting, but that's just how MMA works. It's one of the most interesting, insane sports ever, and that's why it's the best. So yeah, all respect to the legend Edson Barboza. And I even said it. I said in a tweet earlier in the week, I said it in my breakdown. I said I thought he could survive and win this fight. He survived and won this fight. Literally almost, he didn't. I didn't think he would survive like he did. I thought he might, like, get clipped a little bit, like, in the second or third, like, minimum set shit, lose that round, but he'd be fine, he'd win the rest of the fight. I didn't think he'd get beat up badly, and then win the next 4 rounds, but that's Edson Barboza, man. That's Edson Barboza. Back-to-back weeks of a legend taking a young dude to school, but in different ways. Fraud check versus lesson learned. But, yeah. Enough rambling. To talk about who they should fight next, for Edson Barboza, I know this fight's, like, not... I know everyone's saying Cater, which I think is a great fight. I want to see Cater fight Yair. The fight I would do for Edson Barboza is Brian Ortega. Because, like, he's going to be ranked 11th. He's already fought Bryce. He's not going to fight down. You can't make him fight down. Evloev is booked. Giga, he fought. Emmett, I don't really see it. Ilya's going to fight Max and one fight Edson anyway. Allen is booked. Yair, I don't think that happens. Like, the only guys that are not booked are Giga, Cater, Emmett, Ortega, and Yair. Emmett should fight Giga. Cater should fight Yair. That only leaves one man, Brian Ortega. I would do Edson and Ortega. That's just what I would do. And it's not like it's a giant. It makes sense. Ortega's not won a fight in a while. Edson just beat number 11 in a crazy fight. And everyone else is booked. Again, Yair and Cater are the only other guys. And Emmett. Like, you could do Edson and Emmett, but then it leaves Yair, Ortega, and Cater. One of them won't have an opponent. So, it's a clusterfuck, but whatever. I would do Edson and Brian Ortega. I think that's a great fight, and why not? Why the fuck not? And then for Sodiq Yusuff, live and learn. Go back to the drawing board and see what happens. Who could he fight? Dan Ige. Yeah, why not fight Dan Ige? No one really else for him to fight. Like, Edson will jump both of them. So have Yusuff fight Ige. I don't think I actually know they haven't fought, and that'd be a good fight. I think that was booked once, or maybe I'm tripping. Yeah. Wow, I didn't actually know this fight was booked 4 years ago. Wow, I did not know that. I think this fight would have went a lot different around then, but yeah. Have Yusuff fight Ige. Makes sense to my book. But yeah, not much more to say. Great fight, great comeback for Edson Barboza. Legend shit, just like Darren Elkins. They both doing legend shit because that's what they do best, man. So, not very much more to say. Besides, who should I fight next? I like the idea of Edson Barboza versus Brian Ortega, and I like Sodiq Yusuff versus Dan Ige. Barboza and Ortega, I like that idea. And there's a couple other options, but I like that one the most. And Yusuff Ige, both coming off losses, both are a ranking apart, so let's do it. Not very much more to say, besides Edson Barboza is a legend. And, boom! That's the recap. On my picks, I went 8 of 11, 5 perfect, 550, only got 3 wrong, really, I think 2 questionable here, but yeah, bad pick. Inexperienced. The bonuses were Fight of the Night, Edson and Yusuff, of course. Performance of the Night to Martinez and Pereira. I don't know how you don't give Terrance McKinney a bonus. I'd give him a bonus over Pereira, or I'd give all 3 a bonus, but yeah, besides that, McKinney got fucked out of a bonus, but whatever. And, yeah, last thing is, if you missed a card, I always say what would I tell you, but what would I recommend you to rewatch? Ducote's questionable, you really don't have to. Gutierrez I would, Dixon I would, McKinney I would, Lisboa, skip, Elkins I would, skip C-Rod, that fight was lame anyway, and a bad decision. Pereira, watch Martinez. Araujo wasn't the best fight in the world, but just to watch Jennifer Maia lose, I would watch it 100 times. And Edson was amazing, of course, watch that fight. So pretty much just skip Ducote if you want, skip Lisboa completely, skip Saaiman, and yeah, watch everything else. It was a solid card. Like I said, the prelims had 4 good fights. 4 good fights. This was good, this was great, this was good, and this was good. And then the main card ended with 4 good fights. Awesome knockout. Cool fight. Fuck Jennifer Maia. Amazing fight. So, yeah, it was a very solid card. I think, again, maybe I'll change my mind, but right now I do think the Bobby Green card was a little better. Because that had no bad fights. This did have a bad fight or a few. But the Bobby Green fight card was just every fight was average or good. So I think both cards were pretty good, and back-to-back pretty good Apex cards. I can't complain, especially as we head into a pay-per-view. That's even better. So yeah, and soon the pay-per-view, that'll be the next time you hear from me. Friday 1 p.m. EST as I break down Islam, Volk 2, Makhachev, or Hamzat and Usman, Johnny Walker, fucking bunch of fucking fights on that card. It's not the best card in the world, but it's taken a beating. But we got Volk, we got Johnny Walker, Hamzat, Ikram Alashkarov, Muhammad Mukayev, bunch of names. So that'll be a good card. I'm excited, and yeah. And then of course I'll recap it either Sunday 1 p.m. EST or Monday 10 a.m. EST. So, yeah, not really much more to say, unless I'm going to say something, which I don't think I am. Besides, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe. 50 subs go by the end of the year. Tell me, and if you comment, tell me whatever the fuck you want. How you saw the card, my video, anything you want. I don't care. Interact. I'll accept any comment. That's not bad. I will delete any bad comments. But, yeah, not very much more to say. Hope you enjoyed the video. And as always, RX. Out. Legends doing legend shit.